Hello, everybody. Welcome to our regularly scheduled stream.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everybody. How you doing?
Joined by Jeffrey Bard and Akil Hooper. Hope you guys are doing well. It is literally 10 days since we were at PAX.
Yeah. Sorry I missed it. Sounded like it was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. We missed you.
Well, now you
But
were
next time.
you were somewhere having fun too.
I was. I went to Burning Man. It was
Yes.
always an interesting experience.
Yes, that's pretty good. A little bit different than PAX.
A little bit different.
They didn't burn down the PAX arena. So.
Thankfully.
Not yet. Anyway.
Well, we had a lot of fun there, and actually, we have a little bit of a treat. I know a lot of you during PAX actually were able to. We streamed, I think, live play from the demo.
We did. That's a fact.
And we actually just about 30 minutes ago recorded a little developer playthrough with myself, Jeffrey Keel, and Joshua.
Yep. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was some fun, and we talk about some stuff there. And we're actually going to start out with that video. It's about 22 minutes long.
Yeah, that'll give you guys a sense of like what we played through and what the experience was like, and some background stuff.
Yeah, and it's a little bit of extra information.
Yeah, a little bit extra.
And after that, we'll talk a little bit about going forward and some concept art stuff we're going to show, and a little bit of Alpha Zero stuff, and answer some questions both off of the Discord, which there's a channel open there now. So start getting your questions in. You can only post one question every 10 minutes, as well as some questions that were posted on our forums. Little fuzzy?
A little fuzzy?
Little fuzzy.
Are we all fuzzy or just somebody?
Is it just me?
We're all pretty fuzzy. We're all just a little fuzzy right now.
It's a recording,
It wouldn't
so.
be an Intrepid stream.
If we didn't have problems.
We didn't have audio
That's
issues.
right. We didn't audio.
Right, that
Yep.
is
Even
true.
at PAX. With
Mine-
professional
What's
setup,
that?
with professional people setting us up, we still had.
Oh, my mic's not live?
That is true. Okay, so let's go ahead and show that video actually, and we will see you guys in just a little bit. All right, hello everybody, and welcome to our developer playthrough of the PAX demo that was shown this PAX West just 2 short weeks ago. What an amazing time we had there. I'm joined with lead game designer Jeffrey Bard. Jeffrey, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Steven.
Very cool. Welcome to the party. I am also joined by Akil Hooper, who is our lead technical designer. How's it going, Akil?
I'm doing all right.
Cool beans. I got game designer Joshua Appel. How's it going, buddy? Not only has it gone from PAX, but I can't actually hear you in Discord. Yeah, you're going to have to restart Discord as an admin, and I'll pull you in. It's okay. We'll wait for Joshua to jump back into Discord. But anyways, guys, we just wanted to hop on here with our bi-monthly stream and give you guys a developer playthrough that's really going to kind of explain the direction we wanted to go with this in our pre-alpha build and what things are going to look like come December for our Alpha Zero, which was announced at PAX. We're really excited, working hard towards that. And yeah, so while Joshua's getting back into Discord, Jeffrey, why don't you give us a little rundown of where we are at the moment? What is this camp?
So this camp is a place called Morrow's Mead. It's on the edges of civilization. It's kind of hanging out in the frontier. It's trying to be bigger than what it currently is. Right now, you just see it as a camp, but hopefully it'll start growing sometime soon.
Yeah, so this would be what stage? This would be stage 2 of our node development system.
That's correct. It's leveled up from 1, which is just a few handful of NPCs hanging out in the zone. It's a more permanent establishment, but still, it could go either way. Maybe they have to pack up and leave, or maybe it'll grow further into a level 3 node, which would be a village.
And I know that a lot of people have heard us talk often of our node system. It is probably the most integral system in the game, as it really pretty much ties into everything that is done here. In Ashes of Creation, from quests to conflict to story. A lot of different things really depend on how nodes get developed in the world by the players. So it was important for us when we went to PAX to kind of show people, hey, look, this system is bare bones in development, but in our pre-alpha build, we can show you just what it's going to look like to see these propagate in the world. And we demonstrate that with one of our first quests here from Sergeant Landry, isn't that right?
That's correct. Sergeant Landry gives us a little bit of context about what's happening in this zone. And what that story is that basically, as this camp is trying to get bigger, it's sending out caravans from here to other more developed towns to bring in more resources and more people. But those caravans keep going missing. And so Sergeant Landry has a plan, and that plan is to send out a decoy caravan from here into the wilderness, and hopefully we can figure out what's happening to make those other caravans disappear.
And tell us a little bit about the UI that we're seeing right now. I mean, this is our first iteration on UI, really.
Oh yeah, that's totally true. This is basically, another functional UI for us. It's a little bit more developed from what you've seen previously, but it's still there basically just to allow us to play the game. We call this iteration, I think it's 0.2, so we are on our way to 1, but it's going to be a while before we start seeing what our final UI will look like.
Nice, 0.2. Very cool. All right, well, where are we going to find these mushrooms at, Joshua? Nope, we cannot hear you.
Oh, Josh.
Poor Joshua.
What about now?
Oh, I can hear you now.
Oh my gosh, we hear
Oh.
you. Did you start? You started
yeah.
as an admin?
I did. My voice is so gone from PAX that it's literally not there.
Nice recovery.
No, we are going to find these mushrooms up ahead in this cave that's right outside of this encampment, and it's kind of this portal down into this dark undergrowth where these magic mushrooms tend to spawn.
All right, cool. Well, let's head down to these mushrooms. One thing that's noticeable by a lot of people is there's not like a huge clue that these mushrooms are necessarily gatherable, right? So this is kind
there's
of...
no sparklies here.
No sparklies. Here, Gandalf, Stormcrow. No, sorry. Yeah. So you kind of have to know what you're looking for a little bit.
Yeah, we want the environment to be this organic place. We don't want it to be filled with things that kind of take you out of what's happening around you. We really want to kind of give people a strong sense of place, and we do that by making these things feel natural. You're going to find resources where you're going to naturally find resources.
And we've sped up the time it takes and experience it takes to activate this node to advance to the stage 3, Akil. Oh, there it goes. Isn't that right, Akil?
That's correct. Wait, did I write that?
I can barely hear you, Akil.
Alright, hold on, let me get more volume.
So,
Any better?
oh yeah, that's much better. Very cool.
Much better.
So explain to us what we whoops. Judge Sessions can't deny grant money for sanctuary cities. Well, I have pop-ups that are coming up.
That's important for immersion.
A little bit of news in your daily ashes. Okay. So we see that this node has progressed to kill this stage 3 village. What does that do when it advances to stage 3? What kind of services and stuff are we unlocking and stuff like that?
So as we upgrade to stage 3, we're going to get some new quests in there from NPCs. If we're in a live game, we get new quests from NPCs. There'd be, like you said, new services. So there might be some merchants available that weren't available before. There might be some upgraded crafting stations. Basically everything that's available in the previous node is going to be more and bigger versions of it, and then some additional services that might not have been there previously.
Cool. And one of the huge aspects of a stage 3 node advancement is going to be obviously the ability of players to come and either purchase static homes within the node or lay down freeholds in the area surrounding that node. Additionally, that is where player governments are going to become activated. And what are we doing now in the quest, Jeff?
Yeah, so this is the caravan, the decoy caravan that Sergeant Landry wants us to escort. If we get closer here, we'll launch it and we'll start finding our way to the next encounter.
Dude, that guy's having a grand old time riding on that caravan right now.
He seems pretty grumpy to me.
Is he grumpy?
He's a grumpy guy. I think he does this a lot.
I think we had some jokes about how these horses really just keep on trucking no matter what happens. Like, they're horses on a mission right now.
They're single-minded, well-trained combat horses.
He's not grumpy. He's just got a lot on his mind.
Oh yeah, that's true. This man knows what's coming. Like, he he knows he's a decoy.
They asked him to drive to decoy. How messed up is that?
He's
Or
like
do you think he volunteered, maybe?
he's like the
I
red
think he
shirt of
drew
the village.
shortest-
He drew the short straw?
Now, Dave, the caravan driver. I'm not saying you're gonna die, but
Oh my god.
Who did that? Steven, did you do that?
Did it land? Did it? No. Oh
it did
man, it totally.
not
I'm not gonna look at it. Oh no.
before we started this, we were like, so careful around the caravan.
So as you'll see, guys, you know what? I kind of wanted to show people. Look, this is our pre-alpha build. All right, there's physics happening on this server right now. There's actual physics occurring. These caravans do not like the physics sometimes. Oh, we got an enemy. And it's important to note, you know, these are the fun things of game development. You know, stuff gets worked out. We'll fix it.
You know what's crazy? I forgot that we had music and sound.
Oh, really? Why? Because the GM accounts at PAX weren't playing it?
Yeah, it's really kind of cool to see all this together.
So, who are these Sladeborn? Tell us a little about the Sladeborn.
Sorry, trying to yell. The Sladeborn used to be a really beautiful race, and maybe hundreds of thousands of years ago. Actually, just some period of time ago. But unfortunately, something happened to them to kind of take that beauty and invert it, to turn it into something else. They had a beautiful civilization up in the clouds, but they've come back down to Earth. They can barely even fly anymore. And they also may be responsible for making these caravans disappear.
Ah, that's pretty cool. Now, one of the things that's pretty unique about Ashes of Creation is how we're kind of blending the environment and certain story clues and hazards into each class's roles and abilities to overcome those hazards or find those clues, right?
That's correct. We're going to see an example of that real soon, just once we kill this guy. All right, Akil, would you use your tracking ability?
I will do just that. Let's see where these guys went off to.
Yeah, so you can see we have two different directions we could go. And these footprints lead in one specific direction. So thanks to Akil and having a ranger in our party, it kind of allows us to focus our gameplay. If we didn't have it in the party, we might have to do some trial and error to figure out where to go. But with him, the way forward is clear.
That's pretty cool. So basically, you know, that can have a few applications, really. One, it can help you to discover the direction of a current and ongoing quest, or two, it can actually discover some hidden quests that exist in the world that players are going to have to kind of navigate themselves. They won't be told or handheld, you know, during this process. There's not going to be a giant arrow at your feet kind of pointing you in the direction you need to go or something along those lines. It's going to be more interactive.
Yeah, we're going to have a lot of secrets here. So, I mean, even just beyond, like, hidden quests, right? Hidden areas, hidden things, right? This is a world to discover, and we want you to have that feeling of discovery. Certain classes are better at discovering certain things, but all classes will have the ability to sort of expand their world based on these utility skills that allow them to get more information than they would otherwise.
That's pretty cool. I like that. A lot of people are seeing, you know, some of these skills in action, and the four different classes kind of working together to take down these foes. And it's important to note that if you're either first time tuning in or don't really understand the context of our PAX presentation, this is just a very vertical slice example of what these classes will be capable of. Kind of a mixture of both tab targetable skills as well as action oriented skills. And a very cool thing about Ashes of Creation is the ability of the player to actually kind of dictate their own experience when it comes to selecting certain skills, whether they be more tab targeted or action, as well as how those skills interact with your fellow players and the roles that they have. So up here, I think I might have a duty.
Well, let's see if we can figure out where they went off to. I'll do another
go.
tracking here.
Sweet. Okay, we got a bunch of tracks up here. These are nice little tracks. They're like little chicken feet.
Yeah, we can see that they go over the cliff, but we can tell everybody that this water here is poison. You don't want to go into it. But we don't see a lot.
Josh, don't
hold
go
on.
into it.
Ow,
Josh, don't go into the
It
water.
hurts.
Worst
It hurts.
thing ever.
I thought I needed a bath.
Way to take that water.
As you are told not to. All right, listen. Tanks don't have to be smart. They just have to be strong. It's okay.
I just wanted to show people that it hurt you. Like it was,
Let me see
it's
if
painful.
I can reveal some magic in this area. They must have. Oh, you know what? I did. It's amazing. That is how you cross a jumping puzzle as a mage. You don't actually jump because that would just be too much effort. All you do is you teleport.
Now, again, thanks to Steven, we have one way of getting across this river. If we didn't have Steven with us, a mage, right, we would have to figure out a different way of crossing this river because it is death.
Ah, look at this little waterfall area. I like this. I also like the critters that Michael Bacon threw into this environment. They kind of run from you a little bit. Oh, that guy's scared of us. Let's, this doesn't look too healthy of an environment in here. I think I might get some type of like mesothelioma or something.
Hey, Josh, why don't you go in there?
I've got health. I can do that. Ow, it hurts.
Actually, I think I might be able to take care of this. I'm pretty good at clearing out poisons and curses, but we'll see what happens.
Ah, that's
the way
pretty cool.
forward is
Very cool.
clear.
Well done, Jeffrey. I like that. So otherwise, this environment without a cleric around to kind of cleanse the hazards that were here might be a little bit more difficult of a task for a different party. Tank. Oh, never mind.
Tank just went right past his call, but that's okay. That's
That's
what
okay.
tanks do.
They
Still here.
Tanks don't have to be perceptive. They just have to be strong.
Now this is an encounter that has killed many people at PAX.
I feel confident in our ability. Oh, I'm feeling a little less confident. This is...
That was a nice earthquake, Steven.
Thanks, buddy. Now, a lot of people are seeing our combo system at play on the mage right now. That is a system that actually is going to undergo a lot of different cosmetic changes, specifically with regards to the UI. It's something that we want to make sure feels comfortable, feels non-onerous, kind of something that allows the players to accentuate skill in regards to one aspect of their combat, and it will fuel the focus energy that's required for other skills. And not all skills are going to be mana energy based. Some skills that you can choose to spec into as you're progressing in the skill tree can have a focus generation requirement. You generate focus through the use of your #1 skill, which is your weapon ability, in place of what would normally be found in a lot of MMORPGs, which is kind of an auto attack feature or button smashing feature. We wanted something a little bit more... Okay, there goes Josh. I don't know where Josh is going. Josh is back.
No,
you
I
were
didn't
running. You were running on my screen. That was awesome. So you were like the Flash. So anyways, that system, that weapon system in itself, is going to have a pretty in-depth progression system. Not just will each weapon have some of its own specific attributes that you will be able to plug and play into your combos, but those are going to relate to your overall skill tree in general. Perhaps a mage being able to help lower the resistances of a target, or apply condition effects, stuff like that. Oh, we're entering a boss room. I love this environment. Holy moly. Well, he doesn't look too friendly. Sorrow's Hunger. What a sad name, that poor guy. Why is he so sorrowful?
Hungry.
Haven't you ever been hangry?
I don't usually get hangry.
Sorrow's Hanger.
Sorrow's Hanger.
Let's see if Josh lasts through the breath.
Hey,
Well, that's
No.
something that's actually pretty important about our combat and our boss fights is, you know, you're not going to see templates on the ground all the time that are kind of warning you on things to look out for. This is going to be a matter of kind of trial, error, experience, that you're going to watch some animation cues to kind of tip you off on when certain actions are going to occur. And one of those actions would be his breath attack. It can be pretty lethal.
you would not believe how many people I warned about it at PAX who were just like, oh, that's what you're talking about, as they stood in it and just ate the whole thing.
Oh, good job, Josh.
Hey, look at that! Josh saw that. Well done.
Oh, where's he going now?
Waste my ultimate.
He looks like he's summoning some smoke. Oh, probably don't want to stand in the smoke. Hey, thanks for the heals. The heals there.
No problem.
They did such a good job on this boss, our modelers and animators. Yeah, it was a nice attempt at a pull there. I liked it.
He's a little big. I'm trying, but he's a little large to pull.
Well, he is made out of rock and crystals.
My tank needs to lift more at the gym, then he can do it.
That's what happens when you skip leg day.
I think we're gonna do it.
I think we did it.
Oh yeah.
Hardcore.
Very cool. Well done, guys. Well done. Nice ulti there, Jeffrey.
Thank you. I am a superhero.
Very cool. Well, guys, we will chat with you a little bit more about this on our stream right after the jump. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Are we on?
Yeah. We were watching
watching the chat while I was running there.
That ended unexpectedly.
A little unexpected.
Even
Are
though we
on?
knew when it-
We're good. Okay, we're good. Sorry.
The time delay got us.
Yeah, the time delay totally got us. So I know that a lot of you had really already seen kind of gameplay, but we thought we'd just give a little bit of a dev discussion behind it. You know, kind
and
of give you
everyone
that
didn't get to
playthrough.
go to PAX. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we had a lot of fun in PAX, honestly, and
It was a really, really good time.
it was a great time.
Yeah.
I mean, seeing everybody and just being able to see the sheer excitement that everyone had,
Yeah.
you know, coming through that booth and
and
experiencing.
just meeting all the community and like putting faces to names, and it was really, really cool experience. I
Yeah.
can't wait to the next one.
And we know that it's not usually done for a AAA studio, let alone an indie studio, to go to PAX with that type of presence with a pre-alpha build.
It's scary. Like, it's honestly, I understand why other people don't do it. It's a terrifying experience.
Absolutely.
But I think it was good for everybody. It was good
Yes.
for us. It was good for the community.
Yeah.
You know, people were really understanding about, you know, some some of the warts and everything that are there. But I mean, you know, I think we still showed well, and I think, you know.
Developing it was actually a really good experience too, just like figuring out a lot of stuff. Like there were a lot of unanswered questions in development, and we got to really dial in and nail a lot of that stuff down. It was great for us internally
Yes.
getting up to PAX.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
it was a
totally
good
agree.
team building exercise, really. I mean, we became closer as a studio, I think.
Through the
and-
fire.
Yeah, through the fire.
Right? Yeah, it makes us stronger. Absolutely. Totally agree.
Tempered studio.
And actually, funny thing, getting back from PAX, we went from the frying pan and straight into the fire.
Yeah, I
with,
don't know how much hotter we can get it, but we're gonna just keep turning that dial. Just keep turning it.
Well, you know, one of our announcements there was the Alpha Zero that we're working towards now, and it's going to be actually a pretty cool experience. I think we have like 800-ish people that are scheduled for
A terrifying number.
for our Alpha Zero just through the raffles and the weekly drawings that
Yep.
people can get by just registering on the website.
Yeah, you're gonna get a pretty cool experience, I think.
It is going to be
Should be
a
pretty
pretty
good.
cool
Fun.
experience. So actually, let's talk a little bit about what that experience is going to look like.
Sure, sure.
Yeah. So let's lay the land out first. Like, what is this zone? Like the size that people are going to be coming into with Alpha Zero.
Yeah, so we're going to basically see, you're going to see some familiar-ish kind of places. We're taking what you saw at PAX, and then we're basically unlocking all the doors, basically.
Right.
So we're going to have 3 nodes in the zone.
We have three area locations for nodes to develop.
Right, 3
and
biomes.
The system will actually be active. The node system will be active in a way that only one of those locations in Alpha Zero will be capable of reaching the village stage.
Right.
And that's going to determine what your experience in Alpha Zero will be like
Right.
with regards to what boss you encounter, you know, what type of triggered events happen.
Right. It's going to be kind of like our game as a whole, shrunk down to one zone.
It'll be fun to see people in the community hopefully talk about their different experiences as they develop different nodes
Right.
and they see different bosses,
story,
different
yeah,
storylines.
absolutely. Yeah, no, that's going to be one of the cool. It's going to be, like you said, it's going to be a mini down,
Mini
kind of
down,
experience.
big experience, and it's a good way for us to kind of, you know, proof these systems and make sure that they work the way that we expect them to with the population.
Absolutely.
And it's a good way for us to test our tech and make sure that the tech supports. That was amazing. Make sure that tech supports everything the way that we expect it to. So
Right, and another is that the ice cream truck again? Oh no,
It is.
okay,
No,
no. Sorry about that.
The ice cream truck has been trolling Steven because he bought some ice cream, and so now he just does circles around our parking lot,
Just
hoping
waiting.
Steven
That
will
ice
come
cream
out.
truck prowls this building.
it does.
I'm
It does.
telling you,
It just
like
it just very
ready to
slowly
pounce.
moves past the door.
It is so
And then
crazy.
slowly moves past the
is
He's
so
door
like
again.
Luigi just watching Steven as he rolls by.
No. Oh yeah, that's true. We
did
did
get
get
donuts
some
today.
donuts today. Actually, we had a fan visit us. I believe his Discord name was Molnir.
Molnir.
MTK or
Something like that.
something like that. Yeah, it was Jacob.
That explains why he had the hammer.
Oh yeah,
didn't
yeah,
know
yeah,
that?
yeah, he brought in
Alright,
Thor's
yeah.
hammer. Yeah. So he came in and visited us, brought some. That was cool. So yeah, no, Alpha Zero. You're going to see actually another huge reveal for Alpha Zero is you're going to get an early look at the Empyrean starting portal area, the Divine Gateway.
Yeah, so up until now you've been seeing the
Kalar.
the Kalar's starting area. Like that's the portal that everybody sees in all of our
iconic,
shots.
yeah.
And now we're going to start getting into some of the other races, and
Right.
you know we're going to continue to expand outward. So
Well,
that's
the important thing about the world, I don't think we've necessarily announced this before, but there are actually 4 divine gateways, and this will be the second reveal
Right.
of one of those areas. And we have, I think we have some concept art that we could show of some of the Pyrian, which is the parent race of both of the elven races,
Right.
the Pyre and the Empyreans. But the Pyrian city, well, no, that's the Empyrean bolt cutters. Oh, they're not. Oh, there you go. So, just to give you a taste of some of the concept pieces for the Empyrean, the Pyrian Divine Gateway. These are some of those concept pieces that Ryan Richmond's been working on. Do we have the
final
finished
render?
Yeah, the final render of that one. I think
There it is.
There we go. So this is the concept piece showing the Pyrian Divine Gateway that players will start when they enter Ashes of Creation, should they choose this starting location. And this is what will be in the Alpha Zero.
Right. Yep. So
experience.
players will arrive at this portal, and then they'll decide which direction they want to go, which node they
Absolutely.
want to support.
And we have 3 primary biomes in this
Yep.
level, right?
Yep, we use that
it's
word.
a 4. Oh yeah, sorry.
Environments.
Environments. Excuse me.
Actually, I used it earlier. I can't.
Environments. It's a 4 kilometer by 4 kilometer kind of slice of the world, and each of these environments encompasses a 2 kilometer by 2 kilometer space. You're going to see a forest area. You're going to see in the center of the map a floodplains area. And then you're also going to see a desert area, which is similar to the
Right.
one that was seen at PAX.
Not gonna be identical, but pretty close.
Pretty similar, yeah. And all throughout the level is going to be this large river. They're gonna, it's gonna kind of separate these areas, and the nodes will encompass pretty much 1/3 each of the entire zone, and be collecting experience. And as players move throughout and kind of quest with what's available and kill monsters and just explore, they're going to be building up each of these nodes individually.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's going to be another contained experience, right? This is not open play yet, but we're getting pretty close to it.
Right.
And this is kind of our first iteration of that.
Yeah.
Less contained though, right? It's
much less contained than the
way
demo.
less off rails than the demo.
Yeah, this is going to be more of an
Yeah.
actual MMO experience.
Yes. Yeah.
so-
You're going to start at level 1.
Yeah.
You're going to level up to probably around level 10.
Yeah.
Yep, you'll buy some skills and
Absolutely.
choose between different skills. So in the
Yes.
demo, everyone had the same skills if you're a ranger. And this, you'll have a little bit of flexibility.
Right.
You might be able to take them at different tiers or select more abilities. So you have
Right.
Yep.
some real feel for what your build is going to be.
And
how you wanna
progression,
play.
just
And
in
progression,
general.
yeah.
Right. Yeah. Like
Also be able
PAX,
to get new equipment.
right? You're going to be able to don new equipment. You're going to be able to find drops. You're going to be able to experience a little bit of the crafting.
A little bit of the craft.
Little tiny baby bit of the
Little
craft.
baby crafting.
A little baby craft. And then you're going to be able to gather some
Yeah.
things. Also, another big part is while we will not have an active character customization screen, you will have preset characters, but you'll be able to choose between male and female, and of the 4 classes again. So we'll be demonstrating in this Alpha Zero, cleric, mage, tank, and ranger. But you can choose race and gender. So 2 races will be present, the Kalar and the Empyreans, and you will get to experience that skill tree progression, which is going to be a lot of fun because actually, why don't we talk a little bit about the skill tree progression? So, as we've said in the past, you can kind of customize your experience in the skill tree. You choose these skills that kind of identify you more particular to the role that you've chosen in your archetype. Our class progression, which the skill tree follows a point-based system where you can begin to unlock different tiers of skills. And this again is our Alpha Zero iteration on the skill tree system. But you'll begin to unlock different tiers of skills as you progress and select certain skills, and you can delve deeper into those skills ability, individual skills ability. So like say for instance, I'm a tank and I unlock that shield bash ability as one of my primary skills that I can unlock at tier 1 with some skill points I've gained by leveling, progression. That I can continue to focus in points on that shield bash ability, right?
Right, and you might get extra damage. You might get some secondary effect. Like right now, it does a knockdown. Maybe it would apply bleed effect as well
Right.
after it. So we'll get some fun things from there.
Right, yeah.
To
differentiate
increase the breadth,
yourself.
differentiate. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah, and that's going to be up to the player to kind of determine how deep they want to go in individual skills and which skills they really want to focus on.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yep. It's a way for us to kind of, implement these systems in a way that's not super deep, that gives us room and flexibility, where we're not committing to a full level 50 progression. Make sure the system works, make sure people enjoy those systems, and then we can iterate after that.
Right, yeah. Another big thing that we're going to see in Alpha Zero is there's going to be 3 distinct dungeons.
Yes.
That are going to be open
dungeons.
world dungeons, absolutely. There is no instancing in this iteration of Alpha
Right.
Zero, so everything's going to be open world for players to kind of experience together,
Right.
Have groups.
And for us to watch you.
And exactly, us to watch from the shadows. Maybe we'll be there playing, We
I'm
will.
sure we'll be
We
there
will.
playing.
No, the 3 dungeons are going to exist within those areas. Another important thing is going to be how monsters spawn differently in the world based on the progression of the nodes that are relevant in the surrounding area. So we're going to see different spawn tables in Alpha Zero that kind of correlate to whether or not your nodes progress to that village stage,
Right.
and how the monsters in the area get more difficult, attracting more traffic.
Right.
Right? Which just kind of is a reverberating loop of more traffic equals
More
more
gameplay equals
exactly.
more fun, hopefully.
Equals faster developing nodes as well. So, yeah, no, we're really excited about Alpha Zero, and we're actually really excited that we're capable of delivering Alpha Zero this year.
Yeah, I'm very stoked. Very stoked.
It's just like mind blown.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, a lot of this is thanks to the PAX demo. It really kind of proofed us out that we can get these things done at this rate. We have really, I feel, pretty accurate schedules on how we're doing things moving forward, and just from the back end, right, from the production standpoint, we're in a really good place right now.
Oh yeah, very good place. Yeah, we got a lot of people working on the project right now, not just in studio but out of studio as well, that we brought on board to help with a lot of things, and we're making really good time, honestly. And here's the other thing is, as we have been since the very beginning, we're extremely open in this creative process because we do want feedback.
Yep.
All types of feedback. To us, all feedback is good feedback. And being able to get you guys hands-on, allowing you guys to see what the progress that we're making is, really helps to establish that trust between us as the developers and
Right.
you guys as the community. And that's really what we want to have, is a very trusting relationship where you can be hands-on and in the actual development process.
And it helps us so much too. Like when, instead of being all secretive and
Right.
hush hush about everything and not letting anything go, right? And then discovering, 2 years down the line, this
no.
system no one likes.
Yeah.
We spent 2 years on it. We can get that feedback right away, and we can hear
Yes.
like, oh, that sucks. Why are you doing that? And
Right.
we can take an honest look at ourselves.
Absolutely.
I think the combo system is a pretty good example of that, right? We
Right.
got lots of different types of feedback on the combo system, and so internally we're taking a real look at it and trying
yeah.
to figure out different ways to present it, different ways to represent it in the world, different types of user experiences for interacting with the combo
Right.
system,
And-
to see if we can find the fun in it, see if we
And breaking down what's the purpose, like when and I don't want to get derailed on the combo system, but we will say, what's the purpose of the combo system? Like, what did we intend with it, right? Like having that kind of skill level associated with something that's kind of been monotonous with the auto attack feature that we really don't want to reuse. And then if we can break down the essence of our purpose there and kind of iterate it in multiple ways to get people a fresh look at it and a different perspective, then maybe we can accomplish that goal. But absolutely, like Akil says, that combo system at PAX was a perfect example of how early in development, I mean literally early, first iteration on it, we can come and get feedback and then give a better direction on where to go with it, while accomplishing the essence of
Figure
that
out what
system.
works, what doesn't, and then do it again.
Yeah, absolutely. No, totally agree with that. We have some other concept images that we could probably show. You can probably start going through them. Oh, there you go. There's another example of the Pyrian. Remember, Pyrian's in the root race, and then Empyrean is their sub-race there. There's some Empyrean merchant stands, the carts that'll be present in Alpha Zero. We have some of the camp assets for the Empyrean stage, second stage of development for the node system. There's their camps. There's a more fleshed out, rendered version of a pavilion asset from the Empyrean camp stage of node development. Here we have some of the Empyreans' take on palisades, these early rudimentary wall system that'll be present in the village stage around the stage 3 nodes for the Empyreans. Some defensive armaments of potentially that camp area, which would be some ballista type Empyrean ballistas. Very cool. That's all Ryan Richmond working on those. What else we got here? This is, who did this one? Was this John? This is John did this. This is an example of some ruined architecture for the once capital city of the Pyrian culture that we'll be starting at in Alpha 0. As you can see, they have a heavy Greco-Roman kind of influence in their architecture.
Lots of filigree, lots of
Absolutely.
detail work.
Some of their
This was a great race back in the day.
Oh yes.
And they placed a lot of emphasis on art and design.
Oh yeah. And this is some of their capital cities defensive walls that they had that will be broken down in the Alpha 0. Oh, nice. This is some hand sketching from Michael Bacon himself.
These are some renders for the housing for the Empyreans.
Yep. Empyrean housing asset, village assets. What else we got here? Oh, this
Matt Broom.
This is Matt Broom at PAX. Everyone was outstanding.
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 I love it. What else we got? We got some other stuff. Oops. Okay, we're going through. Oh, there we go. This is Jeff Deliere, some concept pieces for NPCs in the Empyrean city. We're looking at some scholars and some merchants. Very cool. I like these. They look good. This is a tier 1 example of some light armor, some leather armor that will be present in PAX for players to kind of. Oh, sorry, PAX. Sorry. At Alpha 0. Sorry, Alpha 0. Oh, this is a nice piece by Ryan Richmond. Very cool. Another nice piece, Ryan Richmond. Like it. I like the volcano in the background. Oh, these are great. Some splash images. I like it.
I love it that Steven always reacts as if he hadn't seen it before.
I know.
But he knows very deeply what these things are.
Listen, if I was just like, saw this next, what do you want me to do? Come on. No, these are great. I haven't seen these
No,
before.
they are great.
I know, I've seen them. Cool. Okay, well, let's get to some questions that we had. I believe you pulled some off of
The
the forums. We had a forum, some questions. Where did we put those? At Livestream?
Right there. Mm-hmm.
Livestream?
Go down, I
I
think.
see the outstanding. No. What is
Maybe
this?
up? Did somebody
I think
kill
it's
mine?
up. I think it's up.
Oh my God.
Hold on, guys. We're finding it. Is it in Livestream?
Should be in live stream. I thought I put it in live stream.
Or is it in random? No. Is it in general? Guys, we're finding these questions in just a moment.
Yeah, they're there. Here, look
Where?
at this.
Oh, how strange is that? Okay. Well, why don't you go ahead?
All right. Michaela, do you plan on finishing all the skills on the first 4 classes and polishing them before starting on the next 4?
Oh man, no. That would be impossible.
Yeah.
It's probably. I think we're going to look at like lumps of each class and try and balance them out a bit at a time, and figure out ways that they're going to play off each other. But really, we'll work on multiple classes at once.
Right.
And yeah.
It's important to have a blend when looking at from a balancing perspective, being able to just see them in working together, right? Progressively as a whole. The reason why we're starting with showing these 4 classes doesn't mean that we haven't worked on the other 4 classes. Right. We're just showing these because of animation assets, because of art assets, modeling, those types of things. So we are planning to work on those progressively and kind of debut them.
But these 4 classes also give us a really good breadth of what we're going to get in the game. We've got melee, we've got range, we've got healer, and we've got a caster. Right?
Absolutely.
So we've got kind of all the concepts that you'd expect.
Core components. Yeah.
All right. T-Elf asks, when will the racial buttons and clothing merchandise become purchasable in your store?
Very good question. The answer to that is as soon as our shipping and fulfillment becomes available, which will hopefully be next week, that is when you will see merchandise going up on the website.
Shoklin, will we be able to sheathe weapons, instruments, or will they always be in the character's hand? So that, yes, you will be able to sheathe. It wasn't there in PAX demo for technical reasons,
Right.
But Alpha Zero should be there. It's just more of an animation pipeline.
And actually, that'd be a kind of cool thing probably for most people to kind of hear a little bit in depth as to why it wasn't present at PAX.
Oh, yeah.
You know, knowing about the combat idle stance and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
so basically, in order to go to sheathe or unsheathe the weapon, right, it doesn't make a lot of sense to go from an idle without a weapon to combat immediately, right?
Right.
Like that looks weird. Our animators would have to do a lot of extra work in order to make that happen.
Yes.
So all of our combat abilities come from a combat idle stance. Now, making that transition between that idle and that combat idle is a little bit tricky to get universally working across all situations. So we put that on the back burner. It was something we wanted for PAX demo, but we just couldn't fit it in with the time that we had.
Yeah.
But now that we have time again, that's going back in.
Yes.
So yeah. Cry more. Are you going to get rid of the sweet spot bar from combat and look for another way to accomplish the same effect? I think we just talked about that.
Yes, we did.
But yeah, I mean, the idea is to continue iterating on it and to continue moving that system forward.
Right.
And finding the fun.
And just to very quickly elaborate on that to a degree more is, you know, it was never our intent to debut that as a final end product anyways. Everything we're showing was pre-alpha. That UI is very pre-alpha, and we want to make sure that iterations going forward with feedback from the community is something that we take into account when we go back to the storyboard or we go back to whatever that's going to touch up further on that system.
Yep, we say it a lot, but I think it's really good to continue to repeat because, you know, this is not, we're doing things a little bit differently here. This is not a final product by any means.
And I think, you know, it's important to note as well, a lot of the reason why gaming development in general, from a studio perspective, don't show early iterations is because sometimes that message isn't always communicated to the viewer that this is not an end product, right? This is an early product. So they don't want to take the risk that's associated with showing an early rendition and having that stick in the mind of a viewer that, oh my God, this is trash, I'm done with it, whatever.
We actually had that problem when we first launched the title, right? Absolutely. We showed some pre-alpha combat, some not production ready combat.
Oh my gosh, I remember
reaction
that.
was pretty bad.
Oh, that was so bad.
But again, it's like you take those risks, right? You take those risks, you show the community, hey, you know, we went from that to this, right? Which is a pretty big leap, and we're continuing to move it forward. I think that once people get used to our cadence, they'll kind of start to understand what to expect.
And once we break that kind of, that mold that's been established by the industry in regards to like, you don't show anything unless it's end product.
Right.
Like, once we break that kind of mold, people will become accustomed to seeing something and saying, wow, if it's looking like this at this stage, what will it look like when it comes to actual launch?
Right.
Like, that's the kind of for us excitement when we show something is like, guys, look at this, we know where it's at, and we know where it will be. We're super excited, you should be too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of it.
All right. Super Crazy Ninja. Can I explicitly focus on trade skills in game and become just as powerful or influential as I would by gear grinding PvE, PvP?
Gosh, I would say almost more, potentially.
That's really up to you too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's you know, what you do in the game is a little bit different from what you are, who you are, right?
That's true.
If you want to become powerful and influential, that's kind of up to you. You can make a trade empire if you want to,
absolutely,
but you have to do the work.
Yeah, I think from our standpoint, developing the game, you know, we want to make sure that there's as many dials and levers as possible to the player to kind of customize how they choose to influence the world, and we want to make sure that those dials and levers are balanced across the board. And if you want to impact the world as a trade mastermind, you can do that as opposed to a raid mastermind. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. So however you choose to play, you can get the most out of that system.
You can be the best at it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's see. Shep Evie? I don't know. In terms of character customization and RP, will I be able to hide the armor in the head slot? And will there be an option for cosmetic slots that offer no stats? They are purely just cosmetic.
Cosmetic slots that offer no stats. Yeah, like.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we're gonna have social
toggle
clothing
on your helmet to either show face or not.
Yep. Not yet.
Not yet, but we will have that feature.
But it's coming.
Yeah.
Turbo Blimp. Will there be nodes for resource quality? Will there be nodes for resource quality, as in will certain areas have better quality wood than others? Not forever. Not forever.
I know we've discussed in the past about the quality of certain resources as they're gathered, so there will be higher quality resources. Whether or not you predefine that as an area containing, like this area is known for its better ore, I don't think we're going down that route. I think it's going to be in regards to the nodes that spawn randomly across the world, right?
Right. It's going to be a function of time, right? So yes, there might be some really high quality stuff over here,
Right.
but it's not going to always be like
Exactly. It won't be known for that.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Might be known for that for a little while, but then it'll go away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fresh cuts. Will there be open world PvP objectives that are always contested? Oh crap! What happened? Okay. Will there be open world PvP objectives that are always contested? A node with very minor reward that groups will constantly fight over without a lockout window?
Will there be
Basically, will
objectives
there-
in the world always?
Yeah.
Persistent objectives.
Like towers that players can fight over and fight for control
At
over,
all
that type of thing.
times, yeah. I don't know. I do not believe so. We don't have any plans for that at the moment. We definitely have plans for a lot of different battlegrounds, spontaneity in those battlegrounds, systems that can come and go that have objective-based
Right.
PvP play.
Some of that will come out of the sieges, right? Like
Right.
you'll be able to get some of that feeling from choosing to go on a siege and defending sieges, and so
Yes.
And
But
some of that
but those are scheduled. Like,
Yeah.
you will know when a siege is coming. You
Right.
will know when a siege for a node is coming. You'll have ample time to prepare. You'll have scheduled events like that. But just a persistent objective always in the open world, no, that would probably be resigned to like arenas type stuff.
I mean, there's the open world dungeons are kind of that.
Well, the world itself has a flagging system to
Right.
it, but that's not objective based.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, you could go out and raid caravans, and
Again, yeah, that spontaneity kind of
Yeah.
spawn battlegrounds. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, like one of the names of the game is to continually have the world evolving and changing, right?
Oh, yeah.
So having a static system like that is kind of a little bit
Counter to
antithetical
Antithetical. Yes.
to that.
No, you
Antithetical,
did well.
yeah, antithetical, that's the right one.
Cool. Sunfrog. Will Tulnar be able to dig tunnels? For instance, I can put up a freehold wherever, but can I dig a tunnel and live within it wherever? Can I dig an underground system of tunnels and call it my home if I'm a Tulnar?
Digging tunnels, no.
You will kill our technical director,
no.
Jason.
We are not a
Maybe we
voxel
could
based.
maybe we can make Tulnar houses look like they're mounds or something.
Oh yeah, there
We
you
can
go.
definitely do
Oh, yeah,
something like
that's
that.
not
Yeah.
a problem.
Yeah. But digging and making the actual terrain dynamic like that is a big, huge, gigantic technical
It is
issue.
a monster.
We're all
Especially
about
when
doing
it comes to
things we
pathing.
can
Yeah.
achieve. That's why we're
Yeah.
making the progress we're making, because
Yeah.
we know we can achieve these things. That is something we know will be a.
We
very
know we would have to be a different studio with a
Right.
different,
So the answer there is
Yeah.
no. I'm sorry.
We should probably get to some Discord questions.
Oh, okay.
If they're waiting.
Absolutely. Oh wow, yeah, this went by quick. Let us get to some Discord questions. Discord. Okay. So we have a question from Penguin V2 at Intrepid Studios. When you guys will release Node Part 3 video?
Yeah. We owe you guys some of those, man.
Good question.
Problem is, we've been in production mode, and it's
And we're rolling right back into more production mode.
right, and it's we lose time. Time disappears so quickly here.
And we
It's
want to
not
make
that
sure
we don't want to.
We want to make sure anytime we get content out to you, whether it be blogs or nodes, that content is juicy and
high quality and high content.
And we don't want to just So answer to that question is soon trademarked.
Yeah.
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 Thankfully, we will be working on the tier 3 nodes for the Alpha Zero, so maybe that'll give us some assets to.
Right.
Yeah.
That is true. That is true. Okay. Next question. From Zara. Will we be able to hide our character name, toggle it on and off, such as guild tags, etc.? From your perspective, absolutely. You will be able to toggle on guild names, character names. You'll be able to render allies, enemies, party members, alliance members, guilds, that kind of stuff. Functionality from customization standpoint for you is going to be very high. Okay. So, question from Necrokes, OCE. Can we change the class name from Tank to say Guardian? This is to avoid our current joke of playing Tanky McTankface that tanks as a tank plus tank. So, to answer that question, to be very clear as well, I know I've seen when I've read some comments that people don't like the archetype names because they seem bland. Well, the intent for the archetype names are to be bland because the flavor comes from the combination of the two archetypes, your primary and secondary, that gives you, you know, a tank plus cleric equals paladin, right? Or, you know, something along those lines. When we release our 64 class names, you will see the flavor in class names there, not necessarily in the archetypes. We want it to be a very clear communication on what archetypes, their roles that they embody, so that when you're choosing these things, you're not confused by a guardian trying to understand, well, what is a guardian's role other than to guard? Right? Okay, let's see, question. Indigo from the Empire. Have y'all decided on visiting other conventions yet? We have a very tentative list on conventions going forward in the future, and we will be releasing those fairly soon once we get them. As conventions get nailed down and we get the spaces, we will release that information. But we absolutely do intend on having a presence at conventions moving forward.
Yep.
It was
we had
something
such
that
a good experience. Yes. It's definitely worth repeating.
Absolutely, and like, you know, we're here to make the greatest MMORPG possible, and in doing so, we would also like to leave a very good footprint on the industry that kind of changes the dynamic between studios and community. And part of that process is going to these conventions and interacting with the community. And you know, I got a lot of feedback from
showing the other studios how it's done.
Oh my gosh! Wow!
Sorry.
Nice.
Your mic's hot, Jeff.
I like that. Mike's hot. Part of that process, you know, for us, it was. I heard a lot of feedback about how it was such a breath of fresh air for people to come to PAX and be able to quite literally see the artist that made that model, or the artist that concept, or the designer that created that skill, or, you know, just meet with developers who are at that booth. And my studio loved it. We loved it.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun to get to meet and interact with people, and it's the reason why we're doing this. I mean, it really is the reason why we're doing this. So we do intend to have a very active convention schedule. All right, let's see. What time is it? Oh my gosh, it's 4 o'clock. Okay, let's do one more question, and I'll try to make it a very good one. I'm so sorry we didn't get to everybody's questions. I know it's so difficult to get through all of these. So, question. Actually, we'll do 2 more questions. We'll do 3 more questions because there's 2 really quick ones. There's 2 really quick ones. 2 really quick ones. So it is M. Jolnir or Mjolnir. Merc, hire me. Did you like my donuts at Intrepid Studios? Yes, we did.
They were delicious.
They were great. And then
I think the box is empty now.
The box is empty. And then Issei at the Harem King. Are you going to make MMOs great again? Yes, we are. And then the last one at Steven. What is your favorite class in MMOs? You know, we'll make this a group question. We'll start with you. What's your favorite class?
I love hybrids. I am an altaholic though. I want to kind of see how everything plays. But yeah, like you'll find me as a druid or as a bard or as some hybrid who can try to do it all, but usually isn't very good.
Play a bard.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course you play a bard.
Of course.
Yeah.
What about you?
I like playing healers generally.
Healers? Okay.
Either healers or pet classes are usually my 2 go-to.
All right. I like to play a mage or a sorcerer or a wizard. One of those. Okay. And I think that will be... Wait, hold on. There's one more. Let's do one more.
We can't stop.
I'm so sorry. I'm so
Scope
sorry.
creep.
Nice. Let's see. Here we go. Okay. There's a lot of questions for the... okay, here we go. This is the last one. Enmity Goat at Intrepid Studios. Where is the screaming goat that I gave to Jeffrey at PAX? Make sure you put it near the mic.
Here's the goat.
This is the goat.
Here's the goat.
People can't see it very well. You got to put it up.
Oh. Hang on. Here's the goat.
There is the goat.
Here's the goat.
From Goat himself, at PAX, and it screams. Guys, thanks for tuning in. We will have another stream this month, just before the end of the month. We will announce that date soon. If you are not on our Discord, jump on. If you're not on our forums participating in discussion, we would love to have you at ashesofcreation.com. Visit our forums there. Get registered if you're not already. Thank you guys for tuning in. We had a blast at PAX, and we cannot wait to be with you guys at more events in the future. We will chat with all of you soon.
Thanks.